A report on doping in Danish cycling that came out says a former CSC manager, Bjarne Riis, knew about doping on the team. Nicki Sorensen, who used to ride for Riis, admitted that he too had used drugs to improve his performance when he first started at CSC. Riis won the Tour de France in 1996 and he said that he used drugs during his career. It's also said that as a team manager, he knew that his riders took drugs and even suggested it. What more did he know about his team? Want to know more? Don't worry, Cycling Right Now is here for you. Bjarne Riis, a former Danish cyclist, admitted that he used several illegal drugs, including EPO, steroids and human growth hormone, while competing in the 1990s. With this admission, Bjarne Riis became the first winner of the sport's most prestigious competition to admit to doping, making him a historic figure in the anti-doping movement. And before his confession, who else was involved in the doping scam? Floyd Landis, the winner of the Tour de France the year before, had a positive drug test during the race but had consistently denied using any prohibited chemicals. He is currently competing to defend his title. But as of late, the floodgates have opened in the sport of cycling, with several cyclists coming forward to admit that they have used performance-enhancing drugs. Frankie Andreu, one of Lance Armstrong's teammates, was one of the people who helped win the first of his record 7 Tour de France titles in 1999. In September, Andreu admitted that he had used a prohibited endurance-boosting drug, erythropoietin, also known as EPO, in the preparation for that race. Riis's confession was made public during a news conference in Copenhagen a day after two of his friends on the Deutsche Telekom team, which is now called the T-Mobile, disclosed their involvement in the match-fixing scandal. Eric Zabel, who was the best sprinter in the Tour de France for 6 years in a row from 1996 to 2001, disclosed that he had used EPO during the 1996 Tour de France. Rolf Aldag, who was riding for Telecom at the time and supporting both Riis and Jan Ullrich, the winner of the Tour de France in 1997, did the same thing. Even for a sport that has been repeatedly harmed by doping scandals, professional cycling has never faced a flood of confessions of illicit conduct on the scale that has been seen in the previous week. These confessions have been made public. In addition, there is little evidence to suggest that the current influx of new students will slow down anytime soon. This is a culture that has been driven by fear for some amount of time, fear of being found out, and there was a readiness to tell lies about the reality of doping. Bob Stapleton, the American businessman who took over the administration of the T-Mobile team this year, said in a telephone interview from Italy. Stapleton is the new manager of the T-Mobile team. In an effort to produce a team that does not use illegal substances, Stapleton has implemented a stringent procedure consisting of athlete testing and medical profiling. He went on to say that the worry at this point was that someone else would reveal them. As a result, he anticipates that there will be a deluge of confessions. It's not apparent what prompted Riis and the others to come out this week. Riis was the manager of the highly ranked CSC team. It's possible that they were swayed by the publication of a book the previous month by Jeff Dehont, who had previously worked as a soigneur or a support provider for the telecom team. Dehont asserted that the squad has had a structured protocol for using performance-enhancing drugs. They requested a dog park as well as adequate lighting. However, the front door could not be turned to face the south. A former low-level member of the telecom team named Bert Dietz acknowledged on German media that he had used EPO and accused 2 team doctors of administering the medication to him. Dietz was a member of the telecom team. It's possible that the ongoing investigation into a doping scandal in Spain, which is being referred to as Operation Puerto, is also a factor. More than 50 cyclists were implicated in the probe, which resulted in 9 riders being barred from competing in the Tour de France the previous year. Among those 9 riders were pre-race favourites Ullrich and Ivan Basso. In an interview, Basso revealed that he worked with a Spanish doctor in the previous year. This doctor has been accused of administering doping regimens to athletes, including cyclists. After being linked with the same Spanish doctor, Ullrich has terminated from his position at T-Mobile a year ago. In February, Ullrich announced his retirement from the sport. Pat McQuaid, the president of the International Cycling Union, also known by its French initials UCI, stated in a phone interview from Venezuela, where he was attending the Pan American Cycling Championships, that the pressure has been coming on from the likes of UCI and Operation Puerto. There is no longer anywhere to hide, and their guilty conscience has been bothering them. Riis said that he had taken illegal narcotics between the years 1993 and 1998. He stated that the iconic yellow jersey that is awarded to the winner of the Tour de France was at home in a cardboard box, and he promised to return the jersey to its rightful owner. Officially, Riis's title cannot be taken away from him since, according to the anti-doping laws that govern the sport, a rider can only have their title taken away due to doping admissions during the 8 years following a race in which they competed. Christian Prudhomme, the race director of the Tour de France, was quoted as saying to the Associated Press that Bjarne Riis admitted to his own that he did not deserve to win the Tour in 1996 due to the fact that he cheated, because he has soil on the yellow jersey. In the event that Riis decided to hand in his yellow jersey, the race's official winner would typically be the competitor who came in second place. However, Ulrich was one among those who were involved in the Operation Puerto. Richard Virenque, who was the leader of the team that was expelled from the 1998 Tour de France when it was discovered that a team car contained significant amounts of prohibited drugs, finished in third position in 1996. Richard Virenque also led the squad that was expelled. If Riis turned in his jersey at the end of the 1996 Tour, McQuaid said there would be no winner recorded for the race. It's possible that this won't be the last yellow jersey with doping issues. Landis, who won the Tour de France the year before but had a positive test for artificial testosterone while he was racing, is currently waiting for a decision on a doping allegation against him and will not be competing in this year's race. In the event that an arbitration panel ruled against Landis, he faces the possibility of losing his title and being banned from the sport for a period of 2 years. The fact that several of the confessors have denied using performance-enhancing drugs on multiple occasions, some of them as recently as this week, is something that could just be as harmful to the sport as the admissions themselves. The latest scandal in cycling have forced new ideas regarding doping, and some of the cyclists who have confessed think that the sport would ultimately profit from their admissions as a result of their confessions. However, there is no guarantee that sponsors will remain in the sport for the duration necessary for the present crop of drivers and team managers to learn the answer. The riders who have come clean are not taking much of a risk because they have either retired or acknowledged using drugs such a long time ago that it is highly improbable that the sport's governing body will take action against them. According to people who are close to the cable television company, the decision to end the Discovery Channel sponsorship of the team that Lance Armstrong led to 7 consecutive victories in the Tour de France was driven in part by concerns over the use of performance-enhancing drugs in the sport. The announcement came on Friday. Armstrong is looking for a new sponsor for the team, which he co-owns with other investors. CSC was the sponsor of the racing team that Riis owned. The company issued the following statement in response to the revelations that were made during today's Team CSC press conference. While we are deeply concerned by the revelations from today's Team CSC press conference, we will have no further public comment until we have fully assessed this information. That's all for today. We sincerely hope that you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more of our incredible videos. You can also watch our other videos that have been specially selected for you. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one.